This is that one, and welcome to my neighborhood. Um, where I live, there's a couple of places where I hang out where I can smoke. Um, this one, I guess you could call the back porch, or the back deck. It doesn't look anything like the deck you might see on TV, but it's technically a back deck. Um, I'm gonna pay for that, aren't I? Um, I lost one subscriber for that little slip of the tongue. Um, so I'm just gonna, one day I'm gonna die, and I think it's gonna be soon, like before I'm 60, before I'm 50, maybe, um, maybe before 45. I don't know. Like Colt 45. Um, and I'm looking for math problems now that I'm attracted to them if I can do them. So they're not totally insurmountable problems, Um, and that has to do with either maps or COVID 19 or both. And I like the ones that involve both. Like, for example, if you take the map of the United States of America, let's say just a simple one, the number of COVID cases, and so this is people who die plus people who don't die. So it's just called cases. So COVID cases, um, per state, and if they're really high, they get a really red color, and if they've had none, like Wyoming has like none, practically none, Well, why is that? That tells you it's a contagious disease. I mean, only a contagious disease can do that, and then you can kind of measure its contagion factor, and maybe use that for other pandemics. Perhaps this is the first pandemic of this millennium, but I guess you could go back by millennia and see how many pandemics happened, during that time. And it may be the case that somehow maybe technology is gonna make some of these pandemics worse. I can't explain how. Um, but um, and the population's generally growing. If you take rate of birth minus rate of death, I think rate of birth is still higher. I'm not convinced of that, but I'm not. I think it is. I think rate of birth is higher. Because if rate of death was higher, we'd probably all die, right? um, we wouldn't want that, so we want rate of birth to be high. So have loss of sex with the opposite gender. I'm just kidding. So, yeah, math problems like that. I got a program called Mathematica. It's the watered down version, but I kind of forced it back to the normal version. I'm probably not supposed to be doing like what I'm doing, but it's and it's kind of a pain in the ass because every time I start a new cell, it wants to do the watered down version where you enter it in like natural language, like how tall is Mount Everest. It'll tell you the answer. It's pretty slick, actually. But to do precise mathematical calculations or programs or whatever, I can't do that natural language wise. I have to do it like Mathematica. Is it a language? Stephen Wolfram. It's the Wolfram language, yeah. So I know the language, but when I get on there and see some of the codes they whip out, like for simple things, but it would take me like at least a page of code. They just whip it out in one command. It's pretty good, and I'm learning a lot. Since I started this COVID mapping problem. I guess it's been a few weeks. Maybe 6 weeks, something like that, and and you know that's how I spend my time. These days. Um, I'm not shooting people up. I almost said the N word. I'm not shooting people up. People, because they're all people. We're all people. Um, but seems like to most people, whether or not we're people, it doesn't fucking matter. Um, that's how I treat people is as I treat people. You know, I don't treat them how I want to be treated, so they'll change their behavior and they're going to do what they're going to do, and I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and morality is a choice. Morality is a choice. Like, you can choose to think. I guess this is relativism, um, which I'm not quite fond of. I I'm part relativist when it comes to like person to person within one culture. You know, harming or stealing from the other, or killing their children. Butchering them in their sleep, or fucking dumping sperm whales into their living room, things like that. Um, so this is a pretty laid back day. I woke up and everybody was gone. And they're still gone. And it's been like 3 hours, I think, since I woke up. So I'm having a pretty good day. I mean, I'm in a lot of pain. I don't know how this happened. I have zero pain meds. I don't have naproxen even. I don't even have ibuprofen or Tylenol. I mean, I could go ask a neighbor, but there's no one around, and I'm not gonna walk like to the next house because that that would, you know, fuck me up. So and when it gets really bad, I put my feet up somewhere, like in bed, or I really like the ottoman that um, Mr. X um, donated. It's only in that room as long as I'm in that room. Once I leave that room, it's his. Okay, so it's not mine. And I put my feet up on it, and fucking. And just doing that like makes all the pain go away. It's pretty cool. Um, but it looked pretty silly if I fucking did it like I was rowing a boat, paddling a paddle boat or something. Yeah, I could do that. Erg. So I think here's some coffee that I made. It's this. It's this special blend. One of the reasons why I'm making this video is I'm kind of testing a theory. When you're having a mental health crisis, would that change if you have a camera on you? What maybe your camera, maybe a dear friend's camera. where you just kind of catalog, or create a log, you know, and no one has to see it, you know, probably 98% of the population wouldn't care, but that 2%, that 3%, it's top 3%, you know, and if and yourself will care, um, and brings it can bring you out of a rut, or perhaps understand your rut better, which is good. And we want to understand your rut before you can get out of it, unless you get lucky, like we at a casino, you know. Yeah. So I was having a pretty, you know, rough day. It's weird. I don't know why it is. Woke up alone. Um, no one was whistling for dogs and fucking starting cars, and because I'm on the front of the house, where, well, I'm not in the front, but it's where cars are parked, and it's unfortunate the front door is like right there, because anytime someone closes it, they close it like pretty hard, and I try to close it lightly, like, because that's how I would want them to close it. That's so I close it very lightly, and I'm the only one who does that. They don't know that I have PTSD, and they don't know that yet. They might find out, and if there's a loud sound like a door, it's not a slam. They're not slamming the door. It's something pretty hard, and it's actually a gate. It's some kind of gate, and loud noises. I have a startle reflex apparently. Um, uh, Door closing and phone ringing is the one that spikes my anxiety. It doesn't make me have a fucking, I don't freak out, but um, I'm like one level below that, you know. Um, and I wonder what would happen if I just said, "Okay, I'm recusing myself of this situation. Get the camera, fucking start filming like how I'm feeling." Then the camera could act like like that soccer ball in that Castaway movie. So my camera could be. What was his name? Does anyone know? Is anyone still listening?